Retail sales in the UK fell by a record 5.1% in March as many stores shut up shop in the face of the coronavirus lockdown. The figures from the Office for National Statistics show food and online shopping increased, with alcohol sales jumping by more than 30%. Let's get reaction to those retail figures. We can speak now to retail analyst Kate Hardcastle. Kate, what are your thoughts on seeing those figures?
I think it's very clear to understand what's happening because these are very led by consumer buying. We buy emotionally and we buy reactive to the situation that we're in. So we're obviously using online because we're wanting to minimise the shopping experience externally with just buying essentials when we need to. We are buying food and grocery because a lot of us used to perhaps use cafes and restaurants through the day. So we've maximised the grocery shopping to make sure everyone in the house is fed. And things like clothing and fuel, not needed right now, not essential, so we're not buying. But this is going to have a devastating knock-on effect to a retail sector, particularly in the non-essential, that was really having a hard time of it. The high street's been in decline for 10 years. Many of the middle market brands have had very challenging times. And what we're not going to see is the end of lockdown and then an immediate return to normal. This is going to be changed forever, and it's going to be a very slow walk back to some new normal.
You mentioned the fact that the high street's been in trouble for quite some time, but don't these figures suggest, though, just how much we still do use the high street when it's open, which it isn't at the moment generally?
Yeah, I think absolutely there are brands on the high street that we've seen that have been successful, and that has been certainly the value side of market, where we've got brands like Primark that have come in and dominated fashion space, and certainly we've seen brands that have been able to come in and move competition, change the face of the high street. But generally what we've seen in the figures today is that as people have moved to online, 22% now of online shopping in the UK done online, and 22% of shopping done online now. So it's showing that as we change our habits, we're moving more towards this is a channel, and therefore that when the high street reopens, the stores there, the retail offer is going to have to be the best of the best. It can't just be bland brands anymore. It's got to actually stand for something and give value back to that consumer.
So it'll be about the experience, will it, as much as what you're buying?
I think sometimes experience is probably a little bit overspoken about in terms of what we need from a high street, because consumers are incredibly savvy people. They don't just look for the nice shopping experience. They certainly look for the value. And we've seen that with where success has been in grocery, the huge growth of the discounter brands like Aldi and Lidl, and also in the fashion and non-essential market. But we buy emotionally. So absolutely, what happens when we do go and use a traditional retail environment, bricks and mortar, we react to what's around us. When we buy online, we're much more black and white about it. We're detailed, we're more meticulous. It will help very much if you've got a retail experience to try and get people to buy when they hadn't even considered buying, or increase purchases. And that's what makes a big difference when it comes to retail.
Kate, good to talk to you. Thank you very much. Kate Hardcastle, retail analyst.